After an absolutely crazy week 2, we're now on to the week 3 picks. What is up, football fans? Today, we are going over the week 3 picks. Unfortunately, I don't have a guest today. That is on me. My day was absolutely hectic. I was supposed to have Jason Sardi on, and my day went absolutely down the pooper. Just I had a lot of stuff go wrong today. So I'm going to have Jason on next week. And then from there on, I'm going to have more and more guests. And not just Dolphin guys. I'm trying to get Giant guys. Try to get some other people to come on, be guests for the pick'ems. But this week, it's just me. But before we jump into the picks, I do have to shout out a ton of people. First, on the Patreon side, Chris Allen, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. And on the membership side, I have a lot of you guys to thank, starting with Michael Lombardo, Todd Jean, Zach Gargis, Midnight Rider 78, Adam Sadowski, James W., and Daniel the Beach Bum. Thank you guys so much for becoming patrons and members. If you'd like to become a member, you just hit the join button next to the subscribe button. If you want to become a patron, it is linked in the description below. You get a ton of perks, a ton of different things for each of the different things you join. So I want to thank you guys oh so very much for help supporting the channel. We just broke 36,000 subs. We broke that Sunday with that crazy game. So I want to thank you guys so much for that. But without further ado, as the French like to say, I don't know if the French like to say that. Let's jump into these picks. We're going to start with the Thursday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who just absolutely couldn't pull it together against those New England Patriots, because they're also going to be talking about the Cleveland Browns, who against the New York Jets. It's like, what? A little over 2 minutes left? If their running back just would have not gone in the end zone, they would have won the game. Or if they wanted to play defense at any point. We'll get to that. The Browns are giving 4.5 in this one. I am going to take Cleveland in this one until the Trubisky he's just not it for the Steelers. So until they make that change to their rookie quarterback, their first round quarterback, the only quarterback taken in the first round, I'm going to go with Cleveland in this one. Cleveland actually was doing pretty well. Jacoby Brissett was actually doing pretty well. And again, they just choked it. I don't know what the play call was for the Browns to just allow the Jets to easily come back in that game. I'm going to go with Cleveland in this one, even with the spread of 4.5. I think it's going to be a pretty nice game in that aspect of it. Then, let me scroll down. We have the Saints heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Saints could not do what they did the past how many games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston looked like the Jameis Winston of old, throwing interception after interception after interception. Taking on the Panthers, who just cannot pull it together. They lost to the Giants in a very boring game. I'm actually going to go with the Saints with this one. The Saints are giving 3. I think they're just the better team right now. You think adding Baker Mayfield will help the Panthers out. It did not. It did not help them out. Then we have the Houston Texans taking on the Chicago Bears in Chicago. The Texans are getting 2.5. Chicago, Aaron Rodgers owns you guys. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Justin Fields, Justin Fields just doesn't. It's just his stats from that game were just hot garbage. I'm going with the Texans getting 2.5. Even with getting 2.5, I like the Texans, and I don't like Chicago. That's where it comes down to. Plain simple. I like the Texans, don't like Chicago. Let's go on to the next one. Scroll it down. We have I didn't move it for that one. So the whole time I was just talking, I didn't move it. So there it is. Now I'm going to scroll down to the next one. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Colts, who Chiefs completely taking control of that Chargers game. I'll get to the Justin Herbert situation. There isn't really a situation, but I'll talk about it when we get to the Chargers game. The Colts cannot beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. It's just something they can't do. I picked against the Colts last week, and Reason thought that was funny, and I was right. Chiefs are giving 6.5. Even with the Chiefs giving 6.5, I'm going with the Chiefs in this one. They're just the better team. I have no idea what the flip is going on with the Colts. So yeah, we'll go with that. Detroit finally getting that W. Taking on the Lions, who did not show up. Kirk Cousins looks like hot garbage on Monday Night Football. Always. What is this one? Lions are getting 5.5. I'm going with the Lions. The Vikings have so much, and they got mollywopped by the Eagles. I'm going with the Lions in this one. I'm probably gonna get this one wrong, just because they do have Justin Jefferson, they have Thielen, they have Cooks. Probably gonna get this one wrong. All of a sudden, the Vikings would be like, "Wait a second, we need to play." I'm going with the Lions in this one, even with that point spread. That's just how I feel. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens, another taking on the New England Patriots, who are the Patriots are not the Patriots of old. The Patriots aren't that juggernaut that you should fear. Patriot fans, if that bothers you, I don't apologize. And the Ravens, I enjoyed it. But that 28 points given up to the Miami Dolphins in just the fourth quarter. I'm going with the Ravens in this one, though. Ravens are giving 3. The Ravens are the better team than the Patriots. Not the better team than the Miami Dolphins. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens in this one. I just think that they're the better team. And then we got Cincinnati. Not won a game. Are they on a Super Bowl slump? Because normally the runner-up of the Super Bowl kind of the next year. Did they overshoot and get to the Super Bowl, and now everyone thinks they are the best team? So they haven't won a game, taking on the Jets, who... Good job, Jets, coming back against the Cleveland Browns. Getting the onside kick and then marching down the field and then ending it with that interception from Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, I said Brisket. When he does bad, I call him Jacoby Brisket. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. They're giving 4.5, and obviously they're giving 4.5 for a reason. And Vegas obviously thinks that the reason they're giving 4.5, they're gonna pull this one off. I do think that Cincinnati's gonna win this one. I do think people were a little too high on Cincinnati when the season started, especially Joe Burrow. 4 interceptions and 1 fumble. I'm gonna pick Cincinnati in this one. I do think that they beat the Jets. By more than 4.5, not really. So maybe even go with the spread, pick the Jets. But overall, I'm going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals. Then we have I almost said it. Did you see that? I was like, Oklahoma, where the win come. The Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Tennessee Titans. Both teams have not won a game. Tennessee, it's not that big of a surprise. They kind of jettisoned a bunch of talent and then expected to still be the number 1 seed in the AFC. That didn't happen. And the Raiders added a ton of talent and still haven't won a game, especially just against the Cardinals with that scoop and score to win in the overtime. Gonna hold on to those balls. Pause on that. I'm going with the Raiders in this one. I think Tennessee is just... Raiders giving 2.5 too. They gotta take Ryan Tannehill out. You gotta put your man in. You gotta put the rookie in, Tennessee. I'm going with the Raiders. Man, Tennessee got beat bad by Buffalo. You know, a lot of us Dolphin fans were rooting for you guys, Tennessee. You just got beat bad. Eagles just to the Vikings, and the Commanders didn't beat. That's what I think. I think Chase is injured. I'm going Philly. Philly is giving 6.5. Don't think it'll be that close. So if you're going, betting spread, go with the Commanders. But I do think Philly will come. People are going to probably look at this game and say, "Oh, Philly completely destroyed their first two opponents." The Lions came back a little bit on Philly, but Philly still beat them. They beat the crap out of the Vikings. No, go with the spread. Go, straight Philly all the way. You can never really judge these divisional games. So I'm going straight up. I'm going Eagles. Spread, I'm going with Commanders. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good on you guys, but are you surprised that they beat the Colts in Jacksonville? But they beat them bad. They beat them pretty bad, taking on those Chargers, who Justin Herbert, that pick 6 in the fourth quarter. And I know, a lot of the media pundits and a lot of these guys, on NFL Network, ESPN, whatever you want to say, oh, the guy was tired. The pick's not Herbert's fault, blah, blah, blah. It is equally Herbert's fault. You know your guy's tired. When you get in a huddle and you're standing there as the quarterback and you call the play and you look at all your guys, if you look at your receiver, especially if you know the play and you know who the number one read is, and you look at the guy and he's going, don't throw him the ball. Especially you drop back and you look and he's like, don't throw him the ball. It's that simple. So yes, that pick 6 is equally as on the guy who's huffing and puffing, telling the coach to take me out, running his route just slow as crap, and Justin Herbert throwing it to him. You should have known. Don't throw it to him. But I'm going with the Chargers here. Chargers are giving 7. I think they'll win by like 14. So both I'm going with the LA Chargers. Almost said San Diego there, but I'm getting better with the Chargers. For some reason, I'm having a hard time with the Raiders. Then we have the Rams, who won their game, taking on the Cardinals, who won their game with a convincing comeback. 3.5 the Rams are giving to the Cardinals. I'm going Rams both. I think the Cardinals, not bad. Kyler had to do a lot of things, running around, especially that 2-point conversion where the man was running around for like 12 minutes, especially because they only sent a certain amount and then he eventually ran it on his own. I think Aaron Donald is going to contain that a little bit. So I'm going the Rams both, especially only giving 3.5. Then we have the Falcons, who just can't win, taking on the Seahawks, who everyone thought, hey, beat Denver. Could they do it? Nope, they can't do it again. I'm going with the Falcons in this one. The Falcons are getting 1.5. So both ways I'm going with Atlanta in this one. I think the Falcons get their first win. I know it's going to be a hard one going into Seattle. This is my upset of the week. I'm going with the Falcons over Seattle. Why? Because I'm a crazy man. Green Bay bounced back, owned the Chicago Bears, taking on Tampa, bounced back. They didn't really bounce back. They beat the Cowboys. And then that game, that Bucs Saints game, was low scoring for a good portion of the game. I'm going Tampa in this one. Tampa's only given 1.5. It's because they're home. I'm going Tampa both, spread and straight up. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers make this a good fight. I'm just not as confident in Green Bay as I would have been last year because of the lack of weapons Aaron Rodgers has. Yes, getting your quarterback weapons helps. And then we have the Sunday night game, which is the San Francisco, Trey Lance-less San Francisco taking on the Denver Broncos. Denver getting their win, San Fran getting their win. But losing Trey Lance, so Jimmy G is back in there. I'm going with Denver. Denver's giving a point. They're home. I'm going to go with Denver at this one. We'll see how Jimmy G does. It's obviously it's not like Jimmy G is a crappy backup, and they wanted to see what Trey Lance could do. Unfortunately, he sustained a pretty bad injury. So now Jimmy G's thrusted back in there. Jimmy G's gonna be like, hey, yeah, look, you should have never put me on the trade block. I'm really good, blah, blah, blah. No, Denver's going to win that one. I'm going Denver both, especially because it's only a 1-point spread. And then we have the Dallas Cowboys upsetting, well, yeah, I guess you could call it an upset against Cincinnati with their backup quarterback taking on the New York Giants. a surprising 2-0 New York Giants. It's not that surprising anymore that they beat Tennessee, and it's not that surprising that they beat Carolina. Again, this is why, you look at strength of schedule and you look at the team was last year. You can't go by that because Tennessee right now, as of right now, going into week 3, is probably like a bottom 10 team in the NFL. Not that good. And then you look at New York Giants, they're right now looking like a kind of top 10 team. They're one of the 7 that's undefeated. I'm going with the Cowboys. Surprise, surprise. Cowboys are getting 2.5. I'm going Cowboys, both spread and straight up. And then finally, let me go back. Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. The fight of the juggernauts. The AFC East. Who's going to hold on to that lead? Who is going to take the mantle as the number 1 team in the AFC East for about a week? I don't know what the next week tells for the teams. If you want to know my prediction on this, you have to watch Friday's preview. But I will tell you the point spread. The Buffalo Bills are giving 5.5. Not surprised by that. I know they're the away team, but they have been just dominating their opponents. Dominated the Rams and then completely dominated Tennessee to where they took out their starters in the fourth quarter. And obviously, you know about the Miami Dolphins, especially if you follow this page. Completely owned the Patriots the first week and then had a crazy comeback against the Ravens. I will talk more about all of that in Friday's preview of this game. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below. Let me know your picks. If I picked 4 against your team, let me know how I'm an idiot, or let me know how I'm really smart for picking your team. Other than that, I will see you guys later today. 2 for today. A lot of you guys want me to make this next video, so you have to wait till that video comes out. But I'll see you guys later today. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.